Okay.
Yep. It's a good day for us today, and we're having a good time here, and we're chilling here. Lovely girl called Noreen, and we always kick it. So from time to time, it's always wise to invite people over and come and hang out. So she over here, and we having a good time. What's up?
Thank you for having me.
Yep, it's always nice to have people around to come and hang out with us, because you know we always find out one or two things, and we in the end we come up with something. I mean,
As long as it's constructive and good spirited and positive, I'm all here for it.
how do you know that it's going to be positive and constructive?
No, because it's up to you, innit, how you spin things around. If it's a negative, you turn it into a positive. Even if you badmouth me, I'm gonna have to turn it into a positive. Turn everything into positive. It's up to you.
All right, is that so?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm hoping you invited me because for the good vibes, not for any negativity.
Of course, we have our good vibes here. It's a Friday, and we're having a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we keep it a good time till the end of the hour, because everything nice all the time.
Exactly.
All the time, everything nice.
Everything nice.
Yeah, man. Let's talk. What's is life easier when you're beautiful? I mean, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking you must be having an easy life.
Only when I got makeup on. Only when I got makeup on or filters on. Yeah, it's easy. Do you know what? It's it depends. It depends, because there's a whole different, that's like various aspects to it. You could be beautiful and dark skinned, and that could not take you anywhere, because it's the whole colorism situation. If you're light skinned, apparently you get more out of life and all of that. Look at Meghan Markle. She's cute, right? She's beautiful, right? Do you think she's having an easy life right now?
Well, I mean, you get depressed from time to time, but you still get the cash.
No, but in her, okay, is cash everything though? Is money everything?
Well, it makes things convenient. I mean,
yeah, money does buy you happiness. I'm not even gonna lie.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I'm feeling if I'm feeling cold, I can hop on a plane to Spain or something, and feel slightly better. So yeah, money does bring some sort of happiness. It's not everything, but it does bring some sort of happiness.
I mean, you'd rather cry in a mansion, right?
Exactly. Most of our stresses in life, though, are because we can't pay our bills, or because we have to work for money. That's the majority of our stresses. And that's all. We're working because we need the money, not because, some of it, yeah, because we enjoy it, but we're working because we need the money and all of that. But is life easier when you're pretty? I would say yes, it is. I'm never going to lie. Yeah, I wish it wasn't, but it is.
Yeah. But I mean, if saying that though, I was just thinking to myself how, how there's the Dubai girls.
Yeah.
They
the girls?
Yeah.
Do you know that the girls that did the potty thing, the whole
yeah.
Yeah, there was no need for that. There was no need for them to do that. I'm sure they were cute enough. There was no need. But yeah, go on.
Get yourself a chic and have a good time, and then he pays all the bills, and go on a yacht, and then you enjoy yourself. But then before you know it, another chic comes in and does his thing, and
That's because there's consequences with everything, even good things. There's consequences with everything. Even working a 9-to-5 job, there's consequences of that. Even working a high-paying job, there's consequences. Even being, even having a sugar daddy, there's consequences. Even being a Dubai, there's consequences with everything. But it's up to you. What consequences are you willing to take? What risks? What consequences are you willing to take? And what are you willing to do to get that money? I mean, I'm sure we would all love to be, get that back. But are we all willing to be potty girls? I know I'm not.
If you got yourself a man with a pot belly who's got a wife at home and giving you the cash, and from time to time he comes and bangs and then goes back home and then you do your thing, isn't that something nice?
Nice in what way though? What about your conscience?
What conscience?
Okay, if your sister said to you, okay, Andrew, I'm gonna give you £1 million a month. But this is what I'm doing for a living. Are you going to be, okay, that's cool. Let me take the money.
Listen, I've taught you what I've taught you through your growing up. So I ain't here trying to stop you from giving me $1 million.
Okay, what about your daughter? What if it was your daughter?
Well, my ancestors have told me that I'm not going to be having a daughter. So I don't know.
Okay, what if by some sort of miracle you had a daughter? Would you allow your daughter to do that?
Well, no, I wouldn't allow it to do that. So this is the thing. This is the thing with me is that I teach you how to become who you can be, but then at the end of the day, you make your choice.
Yeah.
So
true.
It's like
true.
It's true. In as much as tell me, you probably think. Many a times a lot of girls getting married, their parents don't know that they're not virgins.
Yeah. It's true.
So,
but we still wear the white dress. It's true. It's true. Do you know what? That's a tricky one, because sometimes the parents know that they're not pure, but they don't want to admit it. It's that whole thing of like, once you admit that to yourself, it's like you've got a whole different image of your daughter. It's the whole thing of like, unless if she's had a child before she was married, then you would assume that she's a virgin before she's married. But parents know, but there's certain things that they keep to themselves just to keep that innocence, just to maintain that innocence, just to see their daughter in that pure innocence light.
Yeah, if you think to yourself that maybe your daughter is at 21 and she a lie and she got some behind and she got a cute face and you think to yourself that my daughter is a virgin. Do you think that?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Really?
It is possible. Trust me. It's possible. It just depends, because like sometimes you assume because someone looks a certain way, they've experienced certain things, or they are doing certain things. It all goes down to the mindset and like your choices and whatnot. Like what you're saying about, if I had a man with a pot belly and he had a wife at home, but he was still giving me a bit of money and coming to hit it a few times, would I accept that? For me, I know that my moral, the thing is for me, if I'm getting money, I want to be able to sleep at night, sleep peacefully, not sleep with one eye open thinking, oh, who's coming to get me? Who's plotting against me? Who's doing this against me? I would love to have a man just, come up and give me money every month, give me an allowance or whatever. But also, like I say, it goes back to the consequence. What are the consequences? Like, you can do whatever you want in life as long as you're willing to face whatever consequences come with it. The consequences of this potbelly man coming to give me money and sleeping with me, his wife is going to find out. She's going to come and beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
His kids are probably going to find out, and they're going to want to hit me too or do something to me. And it's also about the status.
Well, you might find one of his sons be like, oh, yeah, my dad is the answer, mate. Can I have a piece of that?
No, it's about your moral conscience. Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, go on.
Think of it this way. There's some girls who are out there who's finding themselves indulging in sexual activities and not getting paid for nothing.
Yeah, they're doing it for free.
Yeah. So, well, I suppose it's just an activity with the boys, and we just went out to the party and had a bit of drink, and then we ended up dam dire. But then it's like the next thing, you're there in a position where you've got the opportunity to have a pot belly man
yeah
to sort you out.
And the money.
Yeah.
You know what? It's up to you. It depends on your moral compass, your moral conscience and all of that. Because let's face it, what the Dubai Potty Girls did, yeah, it was weird. And to some people, it's disturbing. But at the end of the day, who are they hurting? They're not hurting anyone. If they choose to do that, that's up to them. Obviously, it's a shame that, society has come to this where you have to stoop so low to make money. But I feel like sometimes we have this whole thing where we want to control people, and if someone doesn't believe in a certain thing, that they're wrong for thinking that, or they're wrong for doing that. The Dubai Potty Girls, if they're not hurting anyone, I don't believe that they're doing anything wrong. What they're doing is weird and disturbing, that they're doing that for money. I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would have the guts to do that. It's disgusting. But it doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah, they're just getting some change.
Yeah, if that's what they want to do.
Support their families.
You're just mad because you're working, minimum wage, 9 to 5, and you're not happy about it. There's nothing wrong with the 9 to 5 as long as you're enjoying it. But don't hate on other people because they found a hustle or whatever. It's to you, it's not right. It's not morally, it's not good, and it's not something that you'd want to raise your daughters to do. But they found their hustle. If that's what they want to do, that's on them. That's on their conscience. That's on them to explain to their families why they had to do that to get money. That's for them to explain to their kids and all of that why they had to do that to get money. It's like these celebrities, Cardi B or whatever, stripping and showing off her body. It's up to her to explain to her daughter, okay, mommy, why are you doing this to make money? It's up to her to explain it to her daughter. It's not on you, really. I think we need to check what's going on in your home first before you start checking on what's going on in other people's homes. Find out why you're not eating good and what can you do to start eating good. And focus on your own money. If they found,
So what do you think of the casting couch? I mean, the sleeping with the boss to get a raise or to get a position.
Oh. Again, that's controversial. Again, it's each to their own, isn't it? Again, there's consequences with that. Because what happens if the boss is not feeling you anymore? What are you going to do? And the awkwardness of walking into the office and everyone knowing that you only got there. And I guess also, I feel like it's an insult to yourself because you didn't get that promotion based on your merits. You got there because you gave the boss what he wanted.
Your money is not written where it's coming from. It's your money in the bank. So whatever you went through to get it, it's got nothing to do with anything.
Exactly. But it's about you and your moral compass and your conscience. And
so if it means you have to sleep with the CEO, the manager's daughter, the manager's to get yours.
Again, just putting it out there, I wouldn't do it because I don't have the guts to do something like that. And I don't like embarrassment. Next thing you know, the boss doesn't like me and he wants to kick me out. I wouldn't do it.
After all that.
Yeah, after all that, and the boss is like, I found someone new. I'm going to have to demote you. And that's giving someone control over you as well. Once you've slept with the boss, he's like, okay, you're giving him that power. He put you there in that place and he can easily take you down. And, that's just one of the consequences of taking that risk of sleeping with the boss. And again, he just throws away, any hard work that you've put in or it questions your merits. Are you actually good at the job or are you just good at other things? That's how you got there.
People are learning in the job. People are learning. There's no merit involved these days. You just learn, just not the right person.
Throw yourself in there and get on with it.
Can you still apply some of the things that you learned? Can you really apply some of the things that you learned from uni and into your job?
The things I learned.
There you go.
Not even uni, high school, primary school. I think primary school is essential. It taught us basic things like reading and writing and all of that. But high school, some of the stuff that I did in maths, was it trigonometry? Whatever it is, Pythagoras.
You can't even remember any of the names.
Algebra and all of that. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, that's cool. I learned that in primary school. What else do I need to learn? Unless if you want to go into a specific field where you need that kind of maths, then it makes sense. But the education system is flawed anyway. But that's the story for another day. We can discuss that another day.
All right, let's just go on a quick break. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we are back, and we are back with a bang. Still, it was happening. It was happening, and we're here with Noreen. Just a reminder, y'all, and we're hanging out till the the end of the show. And we was. What do you think about the Queen?
The Queen.
Yeah, the Queen, the death of the Queen, and the whole situation. From all angles.
It's a bit controversial because as a person, obviously I never knew her, but from what I could see, she looks like she was good bands. That's all I can say. And she was kind of cute. But when we actually start to get deeper into it, this whole thing of like she's responsible for things that's happened and she allowed it to happen. Yeah, that's true. But how much power did she actually have? Was it actually her?
But it was for the best of the country, isn't
it? Whose country?
This country.
Is this your country?
No, I mean, she was responsible for the British, the United Kingdom. So for the best of the United Kingdom, she had to do certain things that she had to do because I mean, it's a the thing is, the way I was thinking about it is like when you look at it, it's like England has no gold, but it's got gold adverts. You see, so in Africa there is the gold, but there's no adverts. So what it was, she had to get all the gold because there was none here.
Yeah.
So it had to happen this way, and there's nothing she could do. Not nothing she could do, but her choice was for the best interest of her own place.
Yeah, but then again, it's the same thing as like, okay, look at Harry. Look at how Harry has just walked away and he said, "Nah, this is not for me." I don't obviously understand the dynamics of the whole. I don't understand that the dynamics of the monarchy, but if she felt like whatever she was being asked to do was wrong, was there a reason why she didn't just say, "Yeah, I don't want to do it," and walk away?
Nah, it's just you pretty much know what you're doing, and you know what I mean. But there's so much influence to everything because even it was interesting to know that because how Scotland was thinking of leaving the kingdom and standing on its own. So knowing very well that she was in a state, she went and chilled in Scotland
Yeah.
And she died in Scotland.
Yeah.
And then now these people in Scotland are not thinking of leaving anymore because it's gonna hit their subconscious that, listen, the Queen died over here. So if you guys want to leave, like you got no shame.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I don't know, like in terms of her death, yeah, I get it. Like the family have lost a member of their family, and it's sad and it's grieving. But I don't think the whole mourning and everything else everything else that came with it needed to happen. And it's like we're in a living costs crisis or whatever, and you're telling us to shut down business and stop work and everything. But in that day that you asked us to take to stop everything, did you also say, okay, no bills are applicable, everyone gets free electricity on that day, everyone gets free water, everyone gets free grass? No, because that day some people didn't even get paid. Some people I know someone who was supposed to work on that day, and they were called, I think, the day before or whatever, and they were told, yeah, you don't need to come into work. And they were asked, am I going to get paid? No. So okay, I've just lost out on like £100 a day or whatever, £150 a day, because I can't go work. I feel like the whole thing was just a bit of an insult. I get it, like, they've lost a family member and they're allowed to grieve. Which
you was affected.
How was I affected? I don't think I was affected. I wasn't really affected. I felt I had empathy for them. They've lost a family member. It's sad. It's normal. But that family member was 96. People, when they get to a certain age, they die. It's sad. I'm not saying it was her time to go. She's lived a whole life. She's been she's been the country's queen for what, 70 years? Was it? That's what we were celebrating.
Yeah. 70 years.
Yeah, so 70 years. She's been a queen. She's done her part. She's served the country, whatever. Let her go in peace. Let her rest in peace. Don't bring up all this commotion that's affecting everyone else, because they closed food banks. Anyone else that had a funeral on the Monday, they had to wait. Anyone that had surgery on that Monday, they had to wait. And I just feel like it's a bit unreasonable, and it's a kick in the teeth. It's like it's a piss take, because a week before you're telling us there's a living crisis, and then the week later you're saying, yeah, living crisis doesn't really matter because one person has died, and all these other things about, like, the guy that got shot, the rap, is it Chris Cubber?
Yeah.
Stop for him. No, he had his whole life ahead of him. Never mind whether
and the investigation is gonna be going on for 6 months.
Yeah, and then they're gonna come out and say there was no wrongdoing. That's another story for another day. But yeah, they come out and say there was no wrongdoing, and then it's not just about Black people, being angry with the Queen and whatnot. I think the whole funeral thing and the money that was spent and the whole commotion of shutting everything down, it affected everyone, white, Asian, Black, or whatever. It's not just, here we go, Black people complaining again. It's just like, read the room. We're in a crisis. Read the room. You're shutting down Parliament. Why? Like,
because she's the Queen.
None of the MPs are related to the Queen. Why are they taking time off? It was a bit controversial, and I think they should have read the room a little bit better. It's sad that they've lost a family member.
What interested me, although, is like, I was looking at it and I was thinking to myself, it's you find it's likely that somebody who's lived suppose 70 years or so, or just about less, with somebody, and then all of a sudden that person dies, Prince Philip. It's likely going to affect the other person that is such a way that it doesn't last longer than normal. And then another thing that would got me along the lines of this is that it is said that one time, the Queen was outside the door and she knocked at their bedroom door, and Prince Philip must have said, she must have said, "Who's at the door?" And the Queen must have said, "It's the Queen." And then Philip didn't open the door, and then she knocked again, and Philip said, "Who's at the door?" And then she said, "The Queen." And then he remained in bed, and then the third time she knocked, and then Philip was like, "Who's there?" And she said, "Elizabeth." And then it's like, okay, then she went and opened, and the moral of the story is, in as much as you're the Queen out there doing your duties, you are my wife when we get over here. So it's one of those things where I want to talk to you about gender roles, and I want to talk to you about the setup of relationships, and hear from you as a woman, and I'm a man, and we see how we can go about the whole situation.
Yeah. What do you mean in terms of
what do you think about gender roles? Because in my sense, when I see you cooking there, behind the pots and sorting things out, you're the most. It's the most attractive.
Really?
Yeah. When I see you bathing the kids and sorting, washing the dishes and cleaning up the house, you're the most attractive.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I think maybe in terms of gender roles, times have changed, and I feel like in certain people's minds, gender roles haven't changed with the times. In this current economy, some households, you need both the wife and the husband to go to work. Now, I personally don't agree that, if you're asking me to split the bills 50-50, you can't ask me to be responsible for the household chores 100%. But for me, naturally, I like cooking, I like cleaning, I like...
You're doing something in your natural self.
Yeah, I like cooking, I like cleaning, I like keeping a home, I like all of that. But for me, I feel like there needs to be a balance, because also just for your own good as well, as a man, if I fall sick one day, if I die or whatever, who's going to come and cook and clean for you?
Of course, the thing is we can do it, but don't expect us to do it.
Yeah, no, I get that. But for me, I like doing that. I like cooking, cleaning. I like, keeping a home and all of that. I also like working. I'm very ambitious. I also like working. I also like making my own money. I also like being spoiled. I like, getting my man to buy me things and take me out and all of that. I guess I like everything. I like the best of both worlds. But I feel like sometimes, I think gender roles have, I feel like times have changed, but gender roles haven't necessarily changed with it. Back in the day when our parents used to stay at home, cook and clean and all of that, there wasn't much for them to do. They didn't have the opportunities that we now have to go out and build a business or go out and do a high paying job. There wasn't much for them to do. So all they could do is just stay at home and look after the home and all of that. It's only when we started asking for equality, when we started saying, we want to piece it out.
Feminism. A man must.
I'm not saying it was wrong to ask for equality, but it was only when we started asking for equality and, saying we want to work too. That's when the gender role started to switch up a little bit. But also at the same time, I feel like it depends on the relationships and the dynamics of the relationship and what you and your partner agree to, because every relationship is different and every, all the dynamics are different. Maybe your husband has a high paying job and he's happy for you to stay at home, keep the house clean, and he pays all the bills and he gives you an allowance. That's fine. If that works for you, that's fine. Maybe you're in a situation where your man is not necessarily earning as much as you and you're the woman bringing in the bacon, so to speak, and he's happy to undertake certain things. Maybe you're in a relationship where your man actually loves cooking and he loves cleaning and he loves all of that. It just depends. Like, it's all like, it's very personal, isn't it? It just depends on what works for you.
Yeah, but it's word on the street is if your woman is earning more than you are in very much big trouble.
Okay.
You are in so much trouble. But hey, let's go on a quick break and we'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Yep, we are back, and this is it. Like we're having a good time, man. I'm loving this. It's crazy, sexy, cool. Yeah. So we were saying how gender, gender roles, and I was saying to you that know that if your woman is earning more than you, you're in
Yeah.
trouble. Do you agree with that statement?
Why would you be in trouble? In what sense? You feel like the woman controls everything?
No, I mean you find that in certain situations you get situations where she earns more, and then when she earns more, because she starts to get trouble, because it's a challenge for a woman to bring out money, because
Yeah.
it's her money in her sense, and it's her money. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's but then with the man, it's natural that whatever money I have, I'm fending for my family. But when the woman earns money, do you know what? In as much as it's like there's no bread, it's like go
It's
speak to your
different. Yeah. It's different. Yeah, I get it. But like you say, like you just said, some men, they'll say, whatever money I've earned, it's for us as a family. But there's some men who just stingy men who don't want to spend on their women, and they want to make their women feel like you need me, kind of thing. I get what you mean, like saying if your woman earns more, it could cause issues. But again, it depends on your relationship and on you and your partner. If your partner is comfortable with it, then that's cool. It also comes from I don't know, like insecurity. Like it's
Yeah,
probably a man, feeling insecure, saying, he doesn't feel good about it because his woman earns more. So you as a man, you have to be secure in that. And if you're feeling insecure, if you're feeling some type of way, then you need to talk to your wife about it. But also at the same time, it's like, if I'm earning more than you and you come to me and say it makes you feel uncomfortable, I will listen, and we'll see how we can address that. If you want to earn more, go out and earn more. Like, well, what are you doing to earn more? If it's a matter of, at the moment I'm earning more, but you're working on it, and one day whatever you're working on is going to blow up, then that's different. Then we know that you're working on earning more. But if it's a thing of like, you're not earning as much as me and you're just sitting around and not doing anything about it, you're complaining and you're feeling bad because I'm earning more than me, that's an issue that needs to be addressed. And it's sometimes it's an insecurity issue. It's a thing where like, but I'm not going to lower my standards because it makes you feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to take a lower paying job to make you feel comfortable, because we're both going to suffer, and that doesn't make sense.
Listen, that attitude is gonna bring home some domestic violence.
But that's the thing. You have to know your partner. You have to know your partner. You have to know how to communicate with your partner about certain issues. If my man is feeling insecure, then it's a thing where we sit down and you talk about it. But it depends. Every relationship is different. You're gonna have relationships where a man is going to be triggered because his woman is earning more. But there are some good men out there that will support their women and say, okay, you know what, I'm so proud of you, you're earning more than me. We'll share the bills or whatever. They'll still split the bills 50-50, and whatever you make, your money is still your money and my money is still my money. I will still provide. There are men out there who are still providing, even though they earn less than their woman, and they allow their woman to keep the money. Again, it depends on your relationship. You need to know your partner before you start, getting serious. And for you to get to a point where you're living with someone and sharing finances, I feel like that's something that you should have discussed way before, and something that you should have come to an understanding way before. You don't just, shack up with someone and then you find out they're not very good with money, or they have insecurities about money and stuff. So it depends on the relationship, and it depends on how you communicate with your partner.
So what do you think about domestic violence? And then prior to that, it's there's been a conversation that's on the surface. It's the conversation that many times there is people are overlooking the idea that there is rape happening in households. Men and women, they're married, but for some reasons, sometimes it happens that you're there with your wife, and and she's not really feeling the whole idea of sex on that night, and then
Yeah.
boom, you end up doing it. But then the debate is ultimately you end up giving in, and then but it's something that is not initial, and then it's like the other end is like, well, we are together, who do you expect I'll be sleeping with if it's not what?
Yeah, I think, I get what you mean. Like sometimes you just assume because they're your partner and you live together, like, it's still okay. I feel like a no is still a no. And sometimes you have to really respect your partner. If your partner says no, you don't know what's going on.
But listen, I've got a hard on and it's just you and you're sleeping butt naked. What do I do? Do I?
But if she wasn't there, what would you have done instead?
I would have gone on Pornhub.
Yeah, but so then do that. Do what you need to do to fix it, because it's like, and no is still no. And sometimes men say no as well. It's not just women that say no. Men say no as well. Sometimes
what man would say no?
Yeah, it depends. Like, I don't know. I can't speak for men, but I don't assume that men are ready to go every 24/7. I don't assume that
we're ready to go. You call us and say, hey, listen, I've got a situation here that needs attending, and we're here. I'm a policeman. I'll just turn on the.
Because you know what? I saw something on TikTok. I can't remember the rapper's name. Yeah, I can't remember his name. But he was saying the same thing as well. Like, men are just not ready to. They're not. Some men, yeah, like you say, you call them and they're up for any hour. But this rapper, I can't remember his name. He was saying that he's, because of self-control and discipline and all of that.
Yeah, of course.
You know, if he wants to get his mindset focused on something, he goes into a phase where he's like, no sex for like a month or whatever. So it's about self-control and all of that. And again, a no is still a no. It doesn't matter that it's your partner or it's your wife, because you don't want to, like, sex is a personal thing, and it's a violation if someone is saying no and you're still going ahead and disrespecting their wishes anyway. And it works both ways, women and men. They can both say
women
no
and
and men anyway.
So you I suppose you gauge rape from the no bit. If you say no, and then if a no eventually turns into a yes, it's
that's a very gray area, because how much resistance did you put up and all of that. That's a very gray area, and it depends on your relationship and how you feel afterwards. Like, yes, I feel like, that's a discussion for you and your partner. Like,
all right, so can I then wake up in the morning and say, do you know what, that no turned into a yes in no time, and I don't understand that, but now I feel raped.
That's a conversation between you and your partner. That's a conversation between you and your partner, because it depends. So after saying that, it depends what your partner says. Your partner could say, "Oh, you're crazy. Nothing like that happened. How can you say that was rape?" Or your partner could say, "I'm sorry. Let's talk about it. Like, what makes you feel like blah, blah, blah."
All right, let's take it to a different setting and say maybe it's a one night stand. Oh, just somebody, just random situation.
That's controversial. That one is controversial. What a no then turned into a yes, that's controversial. That one is controversial. It depends on the circumstances and everything, but that's I feel like that's very controversial.
Had a bit of drink and some Bacardi Breezer and a bit of martini and a bit of this, that, and I'm feeling woozy, and then somebody picks me up and says, let's roll, and then the next thing
that one is controversial, because also it depends on I'm assuming you're assuming that it's the woman that was saying no, but it depends on the guy's mindset. Did the guy realize that the woman was drunk and they took advantage of that? Did the woman trying to put up a resistance and the guy just continued anyway? But I feel that the moment someone says no, it should just be a no. Like,
all right, let's put it this way. Let me give you a scenario. I say, okay, let's do it, and then you say, nah, I just want to sleep, and I just want to sleep, and then I said, okay, fine, and then you say, do you know what, fine, I'm just okay, do what you can do, and then you just remove your clothes and then just put yourself out there, and then bang, 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 and it's done.
What? And then she wakes up and says it was rape the next day.
Yeah, but
again, that's controversial, because she'll need to explain to you why did she change her mind? Why did she feel like she had to give it to you? And then she might say to you, because you pressurized me, because you got upset because I wouldn't give it up.
But
and again,
you were responsible for your decision, though.
Yeah, no, that's very. But she was only. It feels like she was pressured into that decision.
But how did I pressure you if I said okay, fine?
No, but when the moment she said to you, just do whatever you want, you should have been like, no, it's fine.
You're talking to me as a grown person, isn't it?
But you took advantage of that. Again, it's about self-discipline. Like, if you go, like, if you ask someone to hit it and they say no, it's about self-discipline. It's about, you're not gonna die because you didn't get some. You're not going to die. It's very, I think it's controversial. It's a very grey area, and it depends on the communication with your partner. But I don't feel like it's a thing that you should enjoy, and it's not something that you should be pressured into. And if you feel any sort of pressure, I think that's where you start to get the grey area of like, oh, I was forced into it, or I was pressured into it. And especially if it's a one-night stand and one person is drunk and the other person took advantage, that's controversial. And no is a no. At the end of the day, a no is a no. It shouldn't be forced to be turned into a yes. But,
okay. So rape happens, then comes pregnancy.
Yeah.
And so what do you think about abortion? I mean, the debate typically splits into two common viewpoints: pro-choice and pro-life, which both wrangle with religious, moral, and philosophical beliefs.
Yeah. Again, I feel like that's an individual choice. It depends if someone wants to do it. I think we're in this society where we're ready to judge people for anything and everything. And I feel like because of that, it kind of, I don't know, it's a bit like we want to control everything and everyone. If someone wants to do something, if someone, I don't know, say I wanted to go and get an abortion, how does that affect your life? How does it affect your life, me getting an abortion, or me even keeping the baby? How does that affect you? Like, how is that your business? The worst thing that could happen is, God forbid, but it will affect my body. So what's that got to do with you? That's my choice. It's my body. It's my choice. And furthermore, you saying pro-life, if I raise that baby, are you going to come and sponsor me for nappies? Are you going to come and sponsor me for food? Like, let people live. Let people just do what they want to do. And like I say, you do what you want, and you face the consequences. Life, we're all human beings, and the joy of like enjoying human beings is allowing people to be themselves as they see fit and, as they see appropriate. If I'm making a decision that does not affect your household, I don't see why you should have a say in it. And I get it with like religious beliefs. Like, I get it with like religious beliefs, and there's some religions that don't believe in homosexuality, transgender, and all of that. But let people be, let people live their own lives. If it's not harming you, if it's not affecting your household, I don't see why you should have a choice. Why you should have a say in it. Let people live. Let people do what they want to do. Enjoy people where they are. Like, if you want to be gay, if you want to be transgender, it's not affecting me. I think the thing is, like, you do what you want and you do what you believe in, but don't shove it down my face, or don't shove it in my face and, force me to believe it. Allow me to be myself and believe what I want to believe in. So for me, I don't really have I don't necessarily have an opinion, to be fair.
Allow me to enjoy myself.
Exactly.
Allow me to enjoy myself.
Exactly.
All right, let's go on a quick break. Yep. We are back on the last quarter of the Lunch Munch Show. We're hanging out with Noreen, and we're surely having a good time. And on the last quarter, I want to touch on two things. First and foremost, I want to talk about mental health. And a lot of people are being depressed. A lot of things are influencing, and so much is happening. And with mental health, many times we're not observing, but there's certain traits that are magnified by certain influences, and then ultimately we become unwell in terms of mental state.
Yeah.
And what I'm observing is that these are the times in October where men are actually more suicidal. And suicide, I believe, comes in stages.
Yeah.
Nobody, I don't think anybody is suicidal. I think it leads to, it's a long rope to that boy.
Yeah.
And when you get to that boy, sometimes even those that do it, they are not looking to do it.
Yeah.
They are looking to they're in panic mode.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's a lot of mental health going on right now, which
Yeah.
you
It's
have.
I think it's there are, like you say, there are a lot of issues. First of all, starting from, you and I are African, we come from an African household. If you go to your family and you say you're depressed, what kind of response do you think you're going to get?
The kind of response that I get when I go to my, okay,
It might be different.
what's going on? Who's messing around with you? Let us know. Listen, Mrs. Moyo, tell us. My child is there. Mrs. Come, let's gather around. Let's find out.
Yeah, that's it. Like, it's not really. I'm not going to say it's not helpful, the response. I mean, they're helping in their way that they see fit, in the way that they see that they can. But most of the times you just get told to pray it away. Mm-hmm. I think mental health and depression is more than just praying it away. We're not encouraged to, as a society, I don't believe we're encouraged to express ourselves. Like I was saying, like, enjoy yourself, do what you want in life. We're not allowed to express ourselves, and we're not allowed to, if I'm feeling sad or whatever, if I go and tell someone I'm feeling sad, I'm having a bad day, they'll just be like, everything will be okay, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know everything will be okay, but I would like to experience the emotion that I'm feeling at the moment. I'm feeling sad. Let's address that emotion that I'm currently feeling. Let's talk about it. Let's dissect it. Let's see, why am I feeling sad? Where's the sadness come from? Is there something I can do about it? If not, then it's so easy to be flippant and dismiss people when they come to you about their emotions. And once you feel like you can't talk to people and you can't express yourself, that's when you start to go down and you start to carry the whole weight of the world on your shoulders, and you start to suffer in silence. There's certain people that I know that if they go to their families or even their friends and say, oh, I'm feeling depressed, they'll get told, Black people don't have depression, but pray it away. Let's go out drinking. Let's go out for dinner. Those are temporary fixes. Yeah, let's go out drinking. Yeah, cool, I'm up for it. But tomorrow morning, the problem, whatever emotion, whatever problem I'm feeling, it's still going to be there tomorrow morning. And I feel like we need to allow people to be themselves. We need to make people feel comfortable to express themselves. Because if I feel comfortable around you, if I'm having a bad day, I'm going to come to you and say I'm having a bad day. You're going to sit down and make me feel comfortable enough to start divulging information. Okay, I had a bad day because I woke up late and this happened and this happened. And then, we can deal with the situation. We can address it there. But if I'm suffering with so many things, and then on top of that, I'm worried about society judging me, I'm going to suffer in silence. And then eventually it's going to turn into depression. Because for me, this is not the clinical definition or whatever, but for me, I feel like depression is something like one thought that wasn't checked, that got away, and one thought that wasn't checked and got way out of hand. And now it's piling up and other things are coming on top of it and whatnot. But I feel like, we need to allow people to express themselves, and we need to make people feel comfortable and not be so judgmental, because everyone really is going through it. Like you say, mental health is on the rise. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, what I've observed is that many times you come to me and say, listen, Andrew, I got a situation right here. And I'm like, I'll be like, what's the situation? When I always feel that when people are questioning your circumstances and situation, they're driving for gossip and sort of thing where it's like they want to find out and then catch me with my boy saying, hey guys, hey, man, Noreen came through and she was talking about high man and doing it right, and it's depressing her, and and then there's that pat on the shoulder, like, hey, get in there.
Yeah. But I think that's why you need to have, a trusted, build like a trusted, whatever tribe they call it. Yeah, trusted tribe or trusted network. There must be, I'm sure, out of all your friends or even your siblings or your people that you hang around with, there must be at least one or two people that you can confide in. Even if it's not your wife, even if it's not your partner, there must be, one or two people around you that you feel like you can just call them up and just rant, and they're not going to judge you. They're not going to make you feel bad. They're not going to, I feel like it's important to have a closed network of friends. And as well as having a closed network of people, I think we also need to take responsibility. Sometimes you're having a bad day because you're surrounded by people who are bad vibes. Sometimes you're having a bad day because you're overthinking, like I say, there's a thought that you started thinking, you didn't check that thought, you let that thought get away, and now it's escalated into something bigger. There are a lot of things. It could be something happened to you ages ago, you didn't address it, and now it's coming back to haunt you. I think there's a lot of things, especially as, growing up in African households and Black communities. I feel like there are a lot of things that we ignore when we're growing up, a lot of things that go unchecked. They come back to haunt us. I guess trauma and not dealing with it at the time. Because whatever you don't deal with at the time, it will come back for you. It's like having, just remembered actually, just getting a penalty charge, a parking fine, and not addressing it. If you wait 2 weeks later, that one is going to go up. And then by the time you start explaining yourself to the authorities, like, oh, I didn't pay it because there's another, they're like, okay, that's not our problem. So whatever you don't deal with, it's going to escalate. And I think it's important to have a close network of people that you can trust, even if it's just one person. One person that you can trust is better than having a million friends. And I also think social media has played a part.
Hey, stop hating on social media. Social media.
I know, do you know what? Social media is very, very useful. It's probably one of the best things that's happened over the last decade or whatever. I think social media is very useful. It's I feel like it's a weapon. You can use it for good or for bad, but it depends how you use it. If you use it to escalate your life, but you can also use it to destroy your life, depending on what information you're inputting and taking away from it. So again, it's about what you surround yourself with, your environment, I guess. So it could be, who are you following on social media? What sort of things are they putting in you? What music are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you eating even? What's your lifestyle like? Where are you working? Do you enjoy what you're doing? It's a lot of things. It's a lot to take in. I feel like we need a whole episode on just mental health, because there's a lot to uncover. There's a lot to uncover. And obviously, as you've probably seen from my social media, so I'm an advocate of positivity and all of that. And just because I'm an advocate for positivity and being positive and good vibes, it doesn't mean that every day for me is great. It doesn't mean that every day for me is the best. It doesn't mean that I don't have any negative situation. I have things that I'm battling right now. I have things that I will continue to battle. I have things that are negative things that are gonna come up. But sometimes, like I say, it's important to check your environment, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
So in terms of would you want to tell anything to the world that you think maybe they don't know, or maybe you want to emphasize?
I would say like a last message kind of thing.
Not necessarily last message, but I mean something to the world to say, listen guys, this is what you need to be mindful of.
I would say, I would reiterate again, allow people to express themselves, and you yourself express yourself. Don't worry about what no one's thinking about you. People are going to talk, whether you do good or bad. People are going to talk. Just focus on you, focus on your happiness. And just because you're focusing on your happiness, it doesn't mean every day is going to be a happy day, but just focus on you and allow people to express themselves. Allow people around you, people that you come across, to just express themselves. Let people be and express yourself, be happy, look after yourself, look out for number one, not in a no selfish way, but look out for number one. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, financially, you know, in all aspects of life, just make sure that you are meeting your needs before you expect anyone else to come and meet your needs. So yeah, that's my little message to people.
Okay, so tell me something before you go. What is love?
What is love? Love is, what do you mean? Love in like relationships or just love in general?
Love.
Okay. So love is, I would say love is an experience. That's all I can say. An experience. Yeah, an experience.
So it's a doing word, yeah?
It's a what, sorry?
A doing word.
Yeah, love is an experience, because love evolves. Love is different for many people. Love is different for many people. Love is different in different circumstances. Love is an experience. It's something that you experience over time, as it grows, as it shrinks. You know, it's something that provides
grows and shrinks. Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on your relationship. You know, love. I feel like love is an experience. It's something that it's an experience, and I think it's something that you and your partner, or just you by yourself, can shape. There's a lot to it, like love for yourself and love for your partner, and how it affects love in the relationship and all of that. So yeah, love is an experience.
It's an experience, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone should experience it though. I recommend it. I would recommend it.
You would recommend it?
Strongly recommend love. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming through. It's been a good 1 hour, and we've been catching up and having. Yeah.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a lovely time, and I hope everybody can play back and check on her on Instagram. It's down below on the on the banner below. So if you want to follow her, she's a fun-loving, bubbly person. She does a whole lot of things. So check her out and what she does, and you'll be impressed. You'll be impressed. All that talk that she was having and having a good time. Yeah, there's more to it than me. It's just there. So take care of yourself, and thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Take care. Take care.
All right. Bye,
everyone.
Bye.